In the heart of the lush, verdant land of Umudike, the village's most anticipated event of the year was drawing near, the annual village feast. This grand celebration, held to give thanks for the harvest and to strengthen communal bonds, was a time when every family showcased their finest culinary skills. Each household prepared special dishes, and the entire village gathered to enjoy a day of feasting, music, dance, and storytelling. The Okoro family was no exception. Known throughout Umudike for their delicious dishes and warm hospitality, they were determined to make this year's feast unforgettable. Obi, the father, was a respected farmer and craftsman. His wife, Amina, was renowned for her cooking skills and nurturing spirit. Together with their children, Chidi, a strong and diligent teenager, and Nneka, a creative and energetic young girl, they formed a close-knit family, always ready to support one another. As the day of the feast approached, the Okoro household buzzed with activity. The family gathered around the large wooden table in their modest but cozy kitchen to discuss their plans. "Amina, what should we prepare this year?" Obi asked, his eyes twinkling with excitement. Amina smiled warmly. "I was thinking of our famous jollof rice, egusi soup, and fried plantains. We could also make some akara and more as appetizers. What do you think, children?" Chidi, who had been sharpening a knife, nodded enthusiastically. "Sounds perfect, Mama. I'll help with the heavy lifting and gathering the firewood." Nneka, always eager to contribute her creative flair, chimed in. "And I'll take care of the decorations. We'll make our table the most beautiful in the village." With their tasks assigned, the family set to work. Obi and Chidi headed to the farm to harvest fresh vegetables and collect firewood, while Amina and Nneka began preparing ingredients in the kitchen. As the preparations continued, the family's dynamics began to play out. Chidi, ever the dutiful son, carried a large bundle of firewood into the compound, grunting under the weight. He dropped the bundle with a thud and wiped the sweat from his brow. "Why do I always get the heavy work?" he muttered, half to himself, half to anyone who would listen. Nneka, who was arranging colorful flowers and fabrics around the compound, laughed. "Because you're the strongest, Chidi. And besides, someone has to make this place look beautiful." Chidi rolled his eyes but couldn't help but smile at his sister's playful teasing. Despite their occasional bickering, there was no denying the deep bond they shared. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Amina was meticulously mixing spices and tasting the broth for the egusi soup. She frowned slightly, feeling something was missing. "Where are the special spices?" "I thought I had enough," she mused aloud. Just then, Obi walked in, looking concerned. "Amina, we have a problem. The yam harvest wasn't as good as we expected. We might not have enough for the pounded yam." Amina's brow furrowed, but she quickly regained her composure. "We'll find a way. Let's focus on what we have. Nneka, can you run to the market and see if Momankechi has any extra yams and spices?" Nneka nodded eagerly and grabbed a basket, ready for her errand. Nneka and Chidi made their way to the bustling village market, where traders shouted their wares and the air was filled with the vibrant smells of fresh produce, spices, and roasted meats. As they navigated through the crowd, they argued over which spices to buy. "We don't need that much pepper, Nneka." "Stick to the list," Chidi said, exasperated. "The list is boring." "A little extra spice won't hurt," Nneka retorted, her eyes scanning the colorful stalls. Their playful argument was interrupted by the warm voice of Momankechi, a kind and wise elderly woman who had known their family for years. "Oh, the Okoro children. What brings you here?" she asked, her eyes twinkling with curiosity. Nneka explained their predicament, and Momankechi nodded understandingly. "Come with me, I have just what you need." She led them to her store, where she handed them a sack of yams and a bundle of special spices. "Take this. Consider it my contribution to your family's feast." Chidi and Nneka thanked her profusely and hurried back home, their spirits lifted by the generosity of their neighbor. Back at home, the preparations continued in earnest. Obi worked on repairing a broken cooking pot with the help of a neighbor, while Amina focused on perfecting her dishes with the newly acquired spices. The kitchen was filled with the rich aromas of simmering stews and frying plantains. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over the village, the Okoro family sat down for a simple dinner. They were tired but happy, knowing they had overcome the day's challenges together. "We're almost ready," Amina said, her eyes reflecting the flickering candlelight. "Tomorrow will be a day to remember." The morning of the feast dawned bright and clear. The village square was transformed into a vibrant celebration of color, sound, and scent. Families set up their tables, laden with an array of mouth-watering dishes. The air was filled with the sound of drums, laughter, and the excited chatter of villagers. The Okoro family arrived, carrying their carefully prepared dishes. Their table was a sight to behold, decorated with Nneka's colorful flowers and fabrics. The villagers gathered around, admiring the spread. "Your jollof rice smells amazing, Amina," one villager exclaimed. "Beautiful decorations, Nneka." "Great work, Chidi," another added. The family beamed with pride, their hard work and unity paying off. As the day unfolded, the village feast was in full swing. There was dancing, music, and storytelling. Children ran around playing games, while elders shared tales of the past. The Okoro family's dishes were a hit, with everyone praising their flavors and presentation. At one point, the village chief stood up to speak. "Today, we celebrate not just the harvest, but the spirit of community and family. The Okoro family, through their dedication and unity, has shown us the true meaning of this feast." The villagers cheered, and the Okoro family felt a deep sense of fulfillment and pride. They had not only contributed to the feast but had also strengthened their bonds as a family and as part of the community. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the village, the Okoro family sat together, reflecting on the day's events. They were tired but content, knowing they had given their all and been part of something much bigger than themselves. Amina looked around at her family, her heart full of gratitude. "Despite the challenges, we made it together." Chidi nodded, acknowledging the lessons learned. "Teamwork really does make the dream work." Nneka, always the optimist, added with a grin, "and a little extra spice never hurt anyone." Obi, thoughtful and proud, concluded, "We are stronger because we have each other." The village feast had been a resounding success, but more importantly, it had brought the Okoro family closer together. They had faced obstacles, supported each other, and emerged stronger and more united. The tale of the Okoro family's preparation and contribution to the feast became a cherished story in Umudike, passed down through generations. It was a reminder of the power of love, teamwork, and the unbreakable bonds of family.